Estrella Mountain Community College, a Maricopa Community College, student experience, online learning. Why did you choose to take online classes?
For me personally, online classes just seem to work better with my schedule. Outside of school, I had a lot of responsibilities, work, volunteer, club, extracurriculars, and all of that. So online allowed that flexibility to be able to do homework and class anytime that I needed to.
I chose to take online classes because it was going to be better for my situation, just not having to go to school and work constantly. Being able to balance school and work because school is online and having more opportunities to do other things outside of school just worked better for me.
I had chose to take online classes just because it's flexible with my schedule and just personal responsibilities outside of school as well.
I chose to take an online class because I didn't have to actually show up in person, and it was way easier to schedule things around that. I was also taking other in-person classes at the same time, so it just felt a little easier to manage the workload if I was able to do stuff on the weekends or on days that I didn't have to come in person, or even before or after my in-person classes.
What are the benefits of taking online classes versus in-person classes?
The benefits of taking online classes include that I get to do the work anytime that works for me. So instead of waking up every day at 8 a.m., which personally I don't like to do, I can do my work later at home or in my bed or from my desk or even in a coffee shop versus sitting in class all day.
For me, the benefit was being able to build my own schedule. It allowed me to be more flexible and have more time to attend to things outside of school.
I think the benefits of taking online classes than in person would be building your time management and just focusing on growing your independency as well.
With online classes, they are much more flexible. You're able to do your coursework on the go. You can do it whether you're at home, whether you're at the airport, whether you have any free time, things of that sort. You don't always have to be in the same place.
What challenges have you experienced in the online environment?
For me, online does take away the aspect of being able to meet new friends through as you would if you were an in-person student. However, I still really enjoy online classes, especially because professors tailor it to online students, making it more interactive for you.
Some challenges I've experienced was being truthful and working towards my work consistently, because with online classes it's easy to just put it off until later and procrastinate, and when you already have such a swamped schedule, things can slip through the cracks.
I think challenges would be not having the resources right away. I think you would have to wait with time, just because usually with online classes you would have to email your professor, and there's a time period with receiving an email back.
With challenges, I would definitely say there has been times where I have my internet not working, or it's hard to gain communication with the professor. But of course, in order to tackle that, it's always an option to come in person and use the computer commons. So that way I'm sure that my Wi-Fi is working, and I'm sure that I'm able to get access to the coursework that I need.
What perceptions do you have of online learning before that have changed since taking online classes?
Before taking an online class, I thought it would be almost as if I was doing live instruction over a Zoom meeting. However, becoming a college student, I found that it's all asynchronous, so I can do any of the work at any time I want, including the readings, watching videos, or anything that's included in the course.
I would say I wish I knew how to navigate the classes better and how to structure it more than just doing the assignment at the end of the week or doing a couple of assignments at the beginning of the week, and actually planning out my days. For Monday I'm doing this assignment, Tuesday I'm studying, Wednesday I'm doing another assignment.
What I wish I knew before taking an online class would just be all the heavy work that's loaded on you. I feel like you would think that all the work is all paced out, but if you look at the calendar on Canvas, I feel like all the assignments are due all in one day. So again, time management would be an important aspect on that.
Before I tried online learning, I wasn't really sure if it was effective. I wasn't sure if I trusted it, just because I felt that having a face-to-face interaction with your professor might be more beneficial than just being on a computer screen. But after actually taking online classes, my perspective on that totally changed, because I understood and learned that you're still able to interact with your classmates through direct message or discussion boards. And of course, I'm still able to reach out to my professor, whether that's through the Canvas chat feature or through email, or if our professor does offer office hours, then that's also an option.
How did taking classes online impact you as a student?
Taking online classes has impacted me in a way that it's made my life a lot easier. I never really enjoyed sitting in person in a course and listening to an instructor give a lecture or any of that. I really like going at my own pace, so even online I get to watch the same video lectures but in double the speed, which I'm still taking in all of that information but at my pace.
Taking online classes impacted me as a student by allowing me to actually be able to grow more in other areas that weren't so focused on my class. Since I'm also dual enrolled at Phoenix College taking EMT classes, it allowed me to focus more on being the BSU president or focus on my EMT classes rather than just focus on one or two specific classes instead. It allowed me to build my schedule and have more things on my plate.
Taking an on class has been beneficial for me as a student just because it has allowed me to be more in contact and reach out to resources. Don't be afraid, be more independent, and just knowing that it's only you that's in charge of your classes.
Taking online classes impacted me as a student because it taught me that there's many more options than just the traditional in-person learning.
How do you feel online learning has changed since the pandemic?
Before the pandemic, I feel that online learning was almost like busy work, but since the pandemic, I feel instructors have had to look at online differently and really find ways to make the courses more interactive. So I feel that we're getting the same amount of coursework as an in-person class would, but with more ways that keep the students interested.
I believe that since the pandemic, online learning has improved overall. Everyone who's been involved in working with it has gotten better at navigating through it. The students are better at learning and the teachers are better at putting their curriculums online.
I feel like since the pandemic, I feel like online classes, it has been more reserved. That I feel like resources were limited, and then since the pandemic post, there's many resources that you can reach out to, like the library. Computer Commons have been helpful, the tutoring center as well, and just your professor's office hours too.
I feel online learning has definitely adapted greatly in the past maybe 10 years or just post-pandemic, because now it's much more common, so I feel like there's a lot more resources and there's a lot more help available for students doing online learning.
How easy or challenging is it to navigate the learning management system Canvas?
I really enjoy using Canvas. I feel that everything is laid out as perfectly as it could be, with how you can message your instructor, the syllabus and modules, and especially because every instructor takes the time to organize their own Canvas course accordingly to their own syllabus or their coursework.
Navigating Canvas, it's actually not that difficult. Like, it's pretty straightforward and clear-cut program. You just follow the prompts, and there's even the introductory course when you first get into Canvas that just gives you a little tutorial about it. And anything you don't know, YouTube University is free to go right there as well.
I think Canvas is pretty easy to go ahead and navigate, just because there are listed the different sections, like the calendar, your grades, the assignments, and then again the syllabus is an easy way to go ahead and look back at how to navigate through Canvas as well.
For Canvas, I would say it's very user-friendly. Everything's labeled, of course, so you're able to just click on your calendar, you're able to access your assignments, it's kind of like a one-stop shop. Because you're able to do pretty much everything from there, including messaging your peers or your professors.
What tools in Canvas do you feel are important for success?
My favorite tool in Canvas is probably the to-do list. So if you download the Canvas app on your mobile phone, it updates you with all of the assignments that are due in the next week for all of your courses, which is a really good reminder as a student that juggles a lot of responsibilities.
I feel like the tools in Canvas that are most important is the inbox for your professor. Utilize that to message your professor, because a lot of times professors get bombarded with different emails. So if you can talk to them directly from your class, that will most likely give you the most opportune chance for them to respond in a timely manner.
What has helped me with Canvas to go ahead and navigate through an online class would be the assignments, the grades. There's an option on Canvas to check what if grades, so you could go ahead and put in a certain percentage with what score you'll get with an assignment. That has helped me because it has helped me push to see if I do need to do better on a certain assignment. And then as well as the inbox as well, to go ahead and get in contact with your instructor.
I personally would use the calendar feature very often just because it allowed me to plan out when I was going to allot time to get my online coursework completed.
How do you stay engaged in an online environment?
To stay engaged in an online environment, I really try to pace myself with the coursework and really set aside time to where I can be fully devoted to the coursework. That way my mind isn't going elsewhere.
Honestly, it depends on the student. For me, I just, for lack of better terms, I just had to lock in. So I just kind of knew what needed to be done and I did it, but it depends on everyone's different schedule. It helped for me, like going to my online class first before I went to any of my other classes, just so I can know what is going to be done in that week, since I know that class is going to be the one I'm giving the least physical attention to.
I stay engaged by checking my emails to see if there are any announcements on your email, to see if there's any school events like Market Tuesdays or anything else like that.
I stay engaged in an online environment by trying to be distraction-free and actually sitting down and only focusing on my coursework in comparison to multitasking or kind of doing multiple things at once, just so that I can make sure I'm very focused on what I'm learning.
If you run into trouble in your online class, what resources do you use?
If I run into trouble online, I always contact my instructor first. If I couldn't find anything in the syllabus, so for example, if it was something regarding coursework or due dates, I always make sure to check the syllabus, and if I have further confusion from there, I contact the instructor directly through whatever they provided, so whether that's their email or through Canvas directly.
I use my teacher. I will email him, I will use the inbox, I will look it up on YouTube, and oftentimes teachers will have videos or office hours where you can directly contact them, or just shoot them a quick text. So some teachers give like their business phone numbers as well.
If I run into trouble, I go ahead and check the syllabus. Usually there's contact info, and then again, the tutoring center is also welcoming.
If I run into trouble in my online classes, there is a huge variety of different resources available for me to use. I'm always able to call in and ask for help. I'm always able to message or email my professor. I'm also able to come into Computer Commons if I'm having an issue with my account or if I need to use the computers here at school. And if I'm struggling with actual coursework, of course, I'm able to use the tutoring center. So there is definitely a lot of options available for students.
What tips would you give to fellow students on how to be successful in online learning?
Tips to be successful in an online learning environment. I would say that you really have to pace yourself and understand that even though you don't have the obligation to attend class in person, you still have to focus on your schoolwork and make sure you're hitting all of those due dates on time.
I would say balance your online classes between your in-person classes and don't overload yourself with so many online classes simply because they're online. It's still a difficult class. Just because it's online doesn't necessarily mean that the class will be easier or simpler, because oftentimes if it's online, if you're taking something like chemistry and you have a lab, it's going to be a lot harder than it would be in person because you're simply not going to retain as much information. So I would say the biggest thing is just pace yourself and balance yourself.
Tips I would go ahead and give future students would be time management, to go ahead and use your resources and don't be afraid to reach out to those.
Tips that I would give to students in order to be successful in an online environment would definitely be to be in contact with a professor. Don't be afraid to email, don't be afraid to reach out. The professor is there to help you, and they are the ones who are going to be able to give you the best advice because in the end it is their course and they understand what they're expecting from you. So if you need clarification on anything, it's always okay and recommended to message your professors and be in contact with them.
Thanks for watching.